feel like one of those hoarders on the TV shows where like they put all their stuff out in the warehouse and they have to like go through everything and they want to keep like every piece of disposable cutlery they have and every like receipt. I feel like I'm going through that process right now. I've got a lot of WIPs. Hello, welcome to Knit One Per Two Knitting Podcast. I'm Hannah and I'm an addict. I'm an addict of buying yarn and knitting things and of starting things and not finishing them. As we can see here, this is a double sofa bed. I have 18 WIPs here. Are we calling them WIPs? Because WIPs to me means that you're working on them right now, and I'm not working on a lot of these. And today we're going to play a lovely little game of to frog or not to frog. I just happen to have this frog finger puppet. Of course I did. So we're going to go through them and I'm going to decide whether I'm going to keep them and finish them, or I'm going to just frog them and they're going to go back into the yarn stash and then I can do them. I can work with them for something else. I have a list. I have them all here. Let's do this. First thing I'm going to show you, I talked about in episode 3, which is all the wool is here for it. So actually this is just a bag of wool, so that makes me feel a little bit better. Let's put that back in over there. That is my version of the Catching Waves cardigan. There's some more wool in here for it. It's existing in my Bodnet Gardens bag. So far I have this much done. I talked at length and very aggressively about this project in my last video. I've got this much done on the first sleeve and I'm telling you now that I'm going to frog it. Oh, I'm going to frog it because in order to finish this I'd have to put so much more work into it. The construction just doesn't work for me. It's like pieces as opposed to top down. The way the pattern is written isn't very clear. Like the button band you have to knit separately and then sew it up, which just makes no sense to me. I don't particularly think that this heather colour goes with the other 3 colours I have. Even though the yarn was on sale, it still was quite expensive, and I have enough. I have like 3 balls of each of the 4 colours of the Drops Air to knit something else I'm going to wear much more of. My original plan was to knit something that matched my baby's cardigan that I made her, which was the Catching Waves, and I was going to make an adult version using this pattern. Her cardigan is close to not fitting her anyway, so we won't even be able to wear it at the same time because there's no way I'm going to finish this in time. And I know that it's just going to stay in the bag and I'm not going to enjoy knitting on it. So it is going to be frogged. Oh, that feels good. Maybe I should have a frog pile in one basket. This is going to be the frog basket. And then I'm going to have a finished basket too. Oh, that feels quite good. Quite cathartic. Let's tick it off and let's write on it. Frog. Oh my God. I had frog ? Written before, but that one's done. Hey, off to a good start. Another easy one. I've talked about this before in episode 2 of my podcast. This is all the yarn for it, but also all of the work is also in here. And it was my first crochet project. I planned to do this for Annalise's birthday, for my baby's first birthday. She's now 13 months and it still exists in the bag. And I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to not be too hard on myself about these things. My plan is to make this blanket or a style of this blanket using different size crochet squares. All of the wool that I'm using, or the yarn, sorry, that I'm using is Sirdar Snuggly Replay and Sirdar Stories. All I need to do basically is I think I've made all of the ow, just hurt my foot on the chair. I think I've made all of the squares, but now I need to just crochet them together and I don't really know how to do that. And I just need to watch some videos on YouTube of different types of seaming. I'm going to seam it all in this white. Oh, it's just a pen. All my good pens go missing. It's because they're just in knitting bags. I'm gonna crochet it up in this Whiz Kid white, and the colours I've used, I talked a lot about it in episode 2, are all here. So I have some really funky crochet squares going on. Some big ones, some medium ones, some teeny tiny ones, and it's gonna, oh my gosh, I actually love this. I haven't looked at it for a while. I was getting bored of crocheting, so I think this happens with crochet, right? Like, especially for granny square projects, that they just get put in a bag for a long while. And what I've got to do is work out, and I've drawn up I bought some graph paper and drew up like how I want them all to go together so they can all interlock. This is the original pattern, but I tried my own version of it. It's one of those things where you just need to sit and do it, and it's not, I haven't done it because I wasn't in the mood to sit and do it, really. That's a rubbish excuse, isn't it? But this is an easy one. This is a finish. I'm going to finish this. When? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. But for now, it can exist in this bag, and she doesn't need another blanket just now. So I feel as if I've got a little bit of time on that. She didn't know I didn't do it for her birthday. She had lots of other things for her birthday. She had like loads of stuff. So this rainbow crochet blanket is a finish. This doesn't really count. This is just a WIP. This is my Meadow vine scarf I talked about in episode 3. I'm going to finish this. It's an active WIP. It doesn't really count as the, oh my gosh, I'm losing stitches. It doesn't really count. Although I have lost a knitting needle. I don't know how that's happened. And surprise, 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 surprise. There's just pens in the bag. So that's easy. That's going to be a finish. That doesn't count. I'm going to pretend that it counts because it makes me feel better. I don't even know what's in some of these bags. Okay. I bought some more Sirdar replay because I'm obsessed with this yarn for making baby stuff. I bought some black, my first black yarn, and some bright orange, which I don't really love this colour anymore. It's called Fire, I think. And I was going to make some tiger trousers that I found in a library book, and I'll put a picture of the book here, and it's a really cute book, to be fair. I bought the yarn for it whilst buying yarn for the crochet blanket. I thought I'd just buy some extra, and I'm not inspired to do. I got this far. Is this really big? Is this for a pair of trousers? Or maybe it was in the round. And I knew that by the time I finished it on double knits, I'm knitting on 3.25. She'd probably have outgrown them. I got this far. It's an easy frog, isn't it? That's going to be frogged. And then that yarn, even though I'm like, what am I else going to do with this? I'm going to have to make something tiger based with this. Maybe I'll keep it for like when I do, if and when I ever try like amigurumi. You know what? I'm going to pull this off the needles now, and then I'll have the needles back. And that's like a dramatic thing to do. I just think like as soon as you cast something on, you're like, oh, that's loads of work I've put in there. Even if it was like 10 to 20 minutes worth of work. This is fascinating content right here. Right, it's off. I had the needles back. They can go in their pot. Fabulous. This is gonna feel good. Right, orange tiger trousers, number 13. Frog, done. Rainbow blanket, done. Oh, look at this bag by Elizabeth Scarlett. Also, I want these project bags back. There are hordes of knitting needles in here. In the same book, I was going to make some koala bootees. And yes, I photographed it. I'm allowed to do that. Look at these. They're so cute. They're so cute. The problem with this is they were to make a small size, like a 0 to 6 months. And I thought that I think it was in double knit, and I thought, well, if I knit it in like a chunky, they'll be bigger, which does make sense. I used some scrap yarn. I used this pink fluffy Peter Pan. Yeah, I think it's Peter Pan yarn. Oh my God, it's so soft. This is amazing. Look at all these. Okay, we're going to talk through this. I used that for the cuffs instead of the blue. And then I started doing the foot. I did this when we were going away. I was in the car. And I just got really confused. You have to like keep some on the needles and then knit the front, and then it just wasn't a good car project really. So I got this far with it. The yarn that I was using was the Peter Pan. I can't remember what the name is for the fluffy, but I'll look it up. And this, which is Rowan Cosy Merino. And I got it in the sale for £4, which is a really good deal because I think it's about £7 usually. And it's made with merino, cashmere and yak. And like, why am I using fancy wool to make her some boots? Because one, she's going to just pull them off and they're going to be thrown in the mud. Or they're going to get all bobbly on the rug. And they're not going to fit her. Oh, and I found my fancy scissors. This is a great idea. So I think I'm going to frog this too, because I've only got this far and they're not going to fit her. And I want to use this fancy wool for something else. Easy frog. And I can gain my needles back too. God. This is when you realise you're a hoarder. I was a really bad test knitter during the postpartum months after having Annalise, because I thought I'd get loads of knitting done. I signed up for a test knit for one of my favourite knitwear designers in general, but my favourite kids wear knitwear designers, Sandra Magalhães. I don't know if I'm saying this right. I need to know. And I had to email her and say something. I'm so sorry that I haven't been able to get very far with this because life happened, and she was really, really understanding and so lovely. I got this much of the rib done, and this pattern is now live. It is the Serrana skirt. I made the jumper, and I thought it would be a really great idea to have a skirt version for Annalise, so that she's got some really cute tops, but not many like skirts, lots of trousers. So I thought, oh, I'll make a little skirt. Look at these tiny needles. This is why I didn't get very far on it. I think I did quite well to do all of that rib though, without giving up. And I was knitting this in Rico Baby Dream double knit uni, this mauve colour, and this like gradiented colour, which is like pinks and navy blues. It's a really beautiful colour, and basically the pattern is using like a mosaic stitch, so you don't it's not colour work, but it looks like colour work. So I was going to have all of like the checkerboard sections in this mauve colour, and then have this as like the background, so it looks like it's like gradiented down her body. That's a great plan. I just didn't get around to doing it, and I have the yarn for it, and I don't really want to frog this much rib. We're going to come to this in a minute with other pieces as well. The thought of frogging loads of rib makes me really sad, because I know it just takes a while, and it's pretty neat. So what I might do is just put this in the bag, and I've got to the point now where I have to start doing the increases, which I think it's going to be quicker, isn't it? Doing the rest of the body on bigger needles is going to be a quicker process than I think it is. So I think I'm going to keep that in its little bag, and maybe have it as a finish. Like, I haven't got many baby knits on the go at the moment, so maybe that should be one that stays on the needle. So this I'm gonna keep as a finish, I think. Oh my gosh, there's literally so much. Like, what even is this? This is just, I found this right at the bottom. This is just a random ball of possibly Adriaphil chunky yarn. I don't even have the ball band for it. It's come off the needle. I'm not going to try and get these on the needle now, am I? I must have bought this like in the bargain bin, and I knit something in another colour shade, another colourway of this, and it looked amazing. I gave it to my friend, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I kept it. So maybe I started knitting this because I wanted my own version. This was the only colourway they had, but realistically, so far it's just garter. And can you see how it has these like bumps on it from this thick and thin wool? Maybe the one I originally did was like a Monet water lilies. It was blue. It had like pinks and greens and yellows, and it was beautiful. I only have this one ball though. So oh no, look, that's it. Look, that was one ball, and I've just started another one. So if it's that big, that could be a little cowl, couldn't it? Maybe I'll finish it. Some things I think are things that you can just do mindlessly and just take and be like, screw it, I'm going to finish it quickly. So maybe that's a finish. I feel like I'm not doing very well again now. I feel like I'm keeping a lot of these things. But what else am I going to do with one skein, two skeins of that yarn? It's not going to match anything else I've really got in stash as well. So maybe it just stays as that, and it's a keep. That's just the bag with some wool in for the custard cardigan. I talked about this in episode 3. This is the pink stripe cardigan, the Calendula cardigan. I've just got to finish this sleeve. There is no way I'm going to frog this. It does not fit her. It's too big. The sleeves are too short. But I just need to work on that. And so that's going to go in the finish pile because it's very close to being finished. I have like this much of the arm to do, so that's fine. These old guys. I have not finished these socks. The socks that I had in episode 1. I have basically a toddler now, and this sock still isn't done. So I have one sock done. These are this in West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply in the colourway Mallard. They're a Winwick Mom pattern, like a vanilla sock, really easy. And I've got this far. I've done one, and I've done a bit more on the second one. I've got to the heel now, so I need to turn the heel. Have I got there? Have I think, yeah, I have. I've got to the point where I need to start turning the heel. So I just need to finish these. These socks are like 2 years old now. No, it's just, they've just seen 2 Christmases. They're not 2 years old, they've seen 2 Christmases. They were supposed to be my husband's Christmas present last Christmas. They weren't them for this year either. And I just said to him, look, babe, you're not getting them yet. So they'll be finished, but I just don't know when. He's really warm. He walks around the house in shorts in the winter, so he doesn't even need a pair of socks. But the wool was too nice, so I think I need to make sure that I don't knit too many more socks, because I just get, you'll see, no spoilers. I thought that on the 17th of December, I would be able to knit a Christmas dress for my 1-year-old in double knit yarn before Christmas, and I did not. I bought all the yarn. I spent quite a lot of money on acrylic novelty yarn, and I got this far. This is the ugliest Christmas dress you'll ever see. It's going to be a Christmas tree. I have plans. If you look at it, it basically fits me. So I think I'm not going to frog it. That's just silly, but I'm going to keep it. A lot of these I'm keeping like a flipping hoarder. I was going to try and finish it on Christmas Eve, and we sat at my parents' house, and it was 10:30. I said to Mum, right, I'm going to get it in there and finish this dress. She's like, Hannah, why are you gonna do that to yourself? You're not going to get it done. We hadn't even wrapped the presents at this point. So I looked at it, and I tried it on her, and it was too big, and I thought it will have to just wait, like the Calendula. It can wait till next year. It will be big enough to fit her next year, or probably the year after that, because it's massive. I just didn't even think about gauge. I just went with it. I knit it on 4mm, even though, and it calls for 4mm, the yarn does, but it's just novelty, like tinsel yarn and glittery green yarn. I don't even know what the brand is called of these. Woolcraft, maybe. Some random scrap yarn that I found in my stash from I must have nicked it from someone at college. It's so old. I found it in the loft. So that's gonna be kept for next year. But I'm gonna take it out of this bag because this Emma Ball bag is just too cute, and it's on zings as well. So I need to take these needles off and sort that. But that will be paused. Oh, and it's the Sunday morning dress is the pattern. I'm not doing too bad now. We've conceded the bed. That's better. Okay. This is the October Hill shawl. From Beautiful Knitters by Susanna Skrabakova. Sorry, Susanna, I might be saying that wrong. Who is so sweet. I've met her, she's so lovely. She works at Beautiful Knitters in Pimlico in London. My go-to London knitting shop. It's beautiful. It is exquisite. I've talked about this a lot in episode 1. And I'm knitting it. I started this ages ago, 2021. I'm knitting it in these 2, again, exquisite yarns, which are by Rosie's Moments. And I have the ball band in here. I got them from a wool festival I went to for my birthday back in 2021. We still had to wear masks. It was that long ago. And they're hand dyed, and there's a lace weight. This is kids mohair and silk, and it's lace. It's so thin. And then this is Stormy Skies. That was linen, sorry, that was called Lavender Blue. And then this is Stormy Skies, 60% superwash, 10% linen. No, I think it's supposed to be 90% superwash, 10% linen. And they just go really well together. Like this. This is the scarf. It's got a bit crumpled now. Sorry, it's a shawl, not a scarf, I should say that. I've knit one of these already, and I think I cast this on straight away afterwards, but just with a different stitch pattern, so I'm modifying it a little bit. And my plan is to fade out and do bigger. I've got smaller stripes there, and then slightly larger, and go bigger and bigger and bigger. I could just cast it off now and have it as a little triangle scarf, but now I'm going to keep going with this. it's just working on, you know, with lace weight. I'm not that inspired to do it when it's winter, I guess. It's on 375s though. It's not too bad. It's just, you know, you're increasing every time and you've got quite a lot of stitches to do. It's going on the keep pile. This isn't going very well. I thought I'd frog so much more than this until I realised how much I love all of these WIPs. In this very cute project bag, which I got from Scope, the charity shop, for brand new, and it's a really lovely shape. It's got one of those flat bottoms. You can get quite a lot in here. Is this little number, this little cutie pie here. This was a test knit back in 2022. In the summer I did this in like June, July, and it's the Dandelion Mind Shortie sock by Anna Stevenson. And I'd done one pair of socks and I signed up for this and I loved making it. I'll show you the yarn that I've knit in. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm so glad I've kept good notes because I wouldn't remember any of this really, but I would, but it's good to be able to see them all without having to think much. So the toe and the heel is in George and Rose 4-ply. I got one mini skein of it from Knitting Pretty in Wellington. And George and Rose are a really cool independent hand dyer. Look at those colours. And I bought a few mini skeins and then paired it with this green that I had in stash, which is by A Cuckley yarn. It's their sock yarn, and I bought a skein of it in Wilderness in Harlech in Wales, and it's under the colourway Mandrake. And you know, mandrakes are the cutest creatures in Harry Potter, and it has like a fleck of like red, blue, yellow, green in amongst the green, which I thought was really nice. I just feel like a proper knitter because I've knit like an independent designer's sock using independent dyer's yarn, and then some drops for good measure. The Ruffly Sunny Drops brushed alpaca silk. I think it was just supposed to be in kid silk and I did it in the brushed, so it's come out quite big, but I don't mind that. It's kind of like a little proper like over the top frill. I knit one and I didn't knit the other one because the test just called to do one, just check measurements. So I have a whole of the sock to knit. And this is my problem. Even if it's a shorty little trainer sock, it's going to take me forever. I knit them on like 3mm needles. Here's the yarn. Look, I've got loads, you know, I've got enough left to do it. And I even have like one brand new sock in here to check the size of it. To poor other sock because its friend has been in this bag for 1.5 years. I need to finish it. When I'm going to finish it, don't know. It might be a pause pile. Just put it in the finished pile. I have a random vest, like a cami in here, using this Hobbycraft Catch. I think it's called Catch a Wave. I think I actually remember what it's called, and I think it's called Catch a Wave. I think it's cotton and acrylic with this lovely like fleck to it. It's a lovely yarn. It's quite funky, and I've knit a whole side here. I think I was doing it as like a tie neck. Problem is, I don't think this is even going to fit me anymore. Maybe it is. I'm rubbish at knitting summer stuff. I did this in the summer of 2021, and like then I found out I was pregnant in the February of 2022, so I didn't knit any summer stuff for me because my body was different, and this probably wouldn't even fit me anymore. Like I'm pulling it here, and it's like the stitches are really pulling. I don't know. Maybe I'll just finish it and then just gift it to somebody I know that's a smaller size than me. Because I've got quite a lot of this side done as well. Problem is, I don't know what pattern it is. I think it was a free pattern, but I don't have it saved in my Ravelry, so God knows. Maybe I do have it saved in my Ravelry. Should I look? I don't have it. I know I don't. Vest? No. Cami? No. Oh, I do have it saved. Oh my gosh. It's called the Hope Summer Top by Maria Merino, sorry. And I've put in the notes, kind of fell out of love with the yarn and the shape of the garment, to be honest. Got distracted by a potential project, so it's currently hibernating. It's been hibernating for a while. It's in like a flipping cryogenic freezer, this one. I don't know. I don't know. The problem is when they're like nearly done, you don't want to frock them, do you? So that's in the pile. I'll think about it in a minute. I'm getting worse at this. Oh, this little babe. This is the school run hat by Laura Penrose, who I love. I love her podcast. I love her designs. I tested it for her, not this one back here. It was my first time doing a folded hem, and you can see that I finished it. I just actually need to sew the hem down, which is ridiculous, isn't it? And at this point, I made this so long ago. I didn't have any children in my life at all, and I thought I've made the toddler size, which is the one I signed up for anyway. And I don't know any toddlers, so maybe what I need to do is just finish this, sew it in, and then see what it looks like on Annalise, and then decide from there, because I know that this is West Yorkshire Spinners. It's a wool yarn, and it would just be silly just to waste it. I could use it in a scrappy sweater. I have lots of mustard coloured yarns I could pair it with, so we'll see. I'm going to try and finish it, and then if it doesn't work, I'll just frock that one. But the little mint green one I made for Annalise. Again, I think I made it all. Like, I've literally made it all. What am I playing at? And I was going to put two little... Why didn't I just do this? I just really annoy myself sometimes. All I had to do was sew the brim down. And now it's definitely going to be too small for her. Look. That would have been cute as well. I know what it was. It's quite scratchy. It's supposed to be... It's Adriaphil Regina. 100% merino, I think. But it's really scratchy, and it's supposed to be baby wool, and I was like, this is going to hurt her little head. It's really small. And I'm going to put some little bobbles on it. Might finish this too. Oh my god. This is not going how I thought it would. This is lovely. I don't know the name of the pattern. I could try and find it and put it in. But it's a bought pattern. I bought the pattern and the yarn together from the yarn festival I went to, Wool at Junction 13, and it is Lang Millicolary Baby. That's the worst Italian accent ever. Here you go. I bought 3 balls of it, and it's lace weight, I think. Merino fine superwash, so it's 100% merino, virgin wool. It's beautiful yarn. It's not usually my go-to colour palette at the time, but I really liked it, and I thought it was quite wintry. The drape is beautiful on it. The drape is stunning, and I really like the pattern. I was struggling to keep I've obviously got a thing for chevrons, but I was struggling to keep the pattern going. And then I just didn't finish it. I think this was in the era of finding out I was pregnant and just stopping on anything that was like using fancy yarns. And for myself, like, do I need another scarf? What I'm going to try and do actually is work out that actually with the amount that I have, what else could I make with it? Like, if 190 meters times 3.
So it's like 600 and 5.
Okay. 570. That took me too long to work out. What can you make with 570 meters of like 4-ply? I could definitely pair it with something else. Also, it's going very... It's more like a roving, that's why, but it's going very fluffy. So I think I was shocked at that and was like, hang on a minute, because I did pay quite a good amount for that little pack. So I might frog that. And if I can pair it with something to do I could do like a love note or something with another yarn, then I might do that instead. I'm definitely frogging this. This is... I talked about it in episode 3, but I bought some yarn from Venice to do a like Venice water inspired shawl or something, because the water in Venice is so beautiful. And I love Claude Monet's versions of like his Venice. It got me thinking about like, oh, I really want to do some art inspired knitting. So I looked at his paintings. We went past the buildings that are depicted in his paintings. Amazing. And I bought this wool from this yarn. I keep saying wool. This yarn from Venice itself. A really cute little shop. I bought 3 random balls that were all reminded me of the Venice waterways. So I have this Lana Grossa Setasuri. I have, this is by Adrian Wool, and it's called Mahonia, and I can't find it on Ravelry, but it's beautiful. It's blue, and it goes into like a teal, then a yellow. So totally my colour palette of like Starry Night vibes. You know, mixing my arses up there. And then this is Adriaphil Vitamina, which started off really blue, and like it started off like this, blues and greens, and it's going to go to pinks and yellows and purples, which I'm not sure I like the idea of for this particular project. It's in my Yes Bad bag. by Punks and Chanters. So my idea was to do the Carol Shawl by Morocco Yarns, which is a free pattern. I started doing it the other day and I was really happy to be working on it over Christmas. And I swatched everything. I worked out what needle size I could use if I had to hold it double, and I knew that this was thinner than this and this, that and the other. And I've done this much. And the pattern calls for like these picked up wave. Look, the door is opening but there's no one there. These like scallops that you pick up along the lines and then you work as separate like little tiles, and I love that pattern, but I don't think it's working with this yarn. It's not showing the yarn to its full potential. Some of this yarn's too thin for these sections. I don't know how I'm going to do the colour placement. I haven't got enough to do the whole shawl, so I'm going to frog this and then possibly do a different pattern which I have queued, which is the Feather and Fan Comfort Shawl by Sarah Bradbury in these yarns, and also use I have some blue and teal coloured scraps that I'm going to put in with it as well, and then use that Carol pattern for a different lot of sash yarn that I have that's some equally beautiful yarn that I bought, which is hand dyed. I'm gonna use because I want to really have a go at that pattern, and I think it will look really effective. It's just not with the right yarn, so that's easy. That's going to be frogged. A frogged one. I'll feel differently when I'm pulling all this back, I'm sure. Okay, my last two. Oh, this is a hard one. I did this so long ago. I don't remember what it's called. I've had to look this up because it was so long ago I can't remember what it was called. This is the Clubhouse Raglan hoodie by 2 of Wands. I think is you can get it free, but you can purchase it at ads. This has been at the bottom of the WIP pile for a very long time. I'm knitting it in Sublime Evie, which is discontinued, but you can still get it online, which is a cotton, I think it's cotton nylon. Yeah, 94% cotton, 6% nylon. I have this yarn in like 4 different colours, sweater quantities, because there was loads of it online during COVID. So me and Mum bought loads because it's really nice and it's so soft. And I have knit all of this. All of this has been knit and been finished. Now let me talk you through it. I didn't know how to do the hood. And I think I've actually, no, I know this is the front pocket. I've even got the little front pocket that you put on the hoodie to put your hands in, right? I just haven't done the hood. I've got to just pick up, and now I'm thinking back. I remember being like, just pick it up and just do the freaking neck. Just do the neck and then do the hood, and then it's done, right? It's done. Are the back and the front the same? I don't think they are. But the front, I've got like a jogged stitch. See here, it looks really weird, which might block out. And this is the problem, right? See there how it's like wiggly? It's really, really messy. And I was like, this is going to be on the front. So I can either turn it round, which I don't think I can do because I think it's a front and back. Put something over it if it doesn't block out, like a little emblem, like do some duplicate stitching or something. But the yarn is like already bobbling. Or at least, no, it's going like so fuzzy. And you know when you start thinking this is why it was in the sale. I'm going to try this on actually. Okay. This is why I didn't finish it. It's obviously oversized. This was in the era when I did engage watch and I wasn't very like aware of the fact that my tension was loose. It's comfortable. It's a lovely colour. It's creased to hell because it's been in the bag. And like a few times where the yarn, like, because the yarn is it's like a chainette, but like a fluffy chainette. And I've gone like in between the stitches when I've been doing it, so there's like a few sections that look a bit messy. Should I just finish it off? The thought of frogging a whole jumper for wool that I'm not that interested in makes me really mad. So maybe I should just try and work. I feel like I need to spend like a few evenings just working through some of these WIPs and just getting them finished. Like those school run hats, I could easily just sew them up like tonight. I could work on this hood over a couple of nights and it'll be done. So maybe I should just do that. Maybe I should just do it. I just didn't like how it was getting really fluffy. already, but it is comfortable. It's very big though, like it's very big on me. Look, it's ginormous. But I think I was going with that as a plan. The sleeves are good though. I don't know. Should I just keep this on for the next one? This decisiveness I had at the beginning of the video is not continuing, has it? This is another big project. Here's the yarn for it. This is Drops Big Delight. What it's called? Big Delight. And it's in this like gradiented colourway, so it goes from dark pink to light pink. 100% wool, is roving, so it's going to bobble like crazy. And the pattern I'm working on is Evening Sun sweater, which is actually the pattern for the wool, which is probably the first time I ever did that. And I've got this far. See how it's knitting up? It's knitting up so beautifully, these stripes. Very fluffy, a little bit rustic. This I think is a folded hem. And I started on this after I did the Eesti, or I started the Eesti. It's going to be cute, but I know for a fact that I've messed up. Saddle shoulders, so it has those panels. That's the side, the top of the sleeve, and I've messed up the numbers. So what I need to do is sit quietly at some point, look at the pattern, look at what I have, and then read the knitting and think, okay, let me find out where I've increased wrong or I haven't increased enough, etc. Like there. Oh no, there is an increase. Oh. So if I don't do it now, it's going to be a whole other year before I work on it, and then that's going to be a faff. I had the yarn to finish it, the pattern was free, it's an easy finish, and I think it's going to look cute. I think it's going to be like a cute little jump, cute little jummy. My knitting's actually quite neat in this as well. I've put it on proper stoppers and everything. Look, I knew that I wasn't going to, I knew I was going to come back to it. We'll see. I'm just trying to work it out. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 that I'm going to finish. I have 5 definite frogs, and then I have quite a few like ones I'm going to hibernate or like pause on. There's some I'm just not sure about, and I think you really got to ask yourself, haven't you? Like maybe finish. I'm going to finish some that I definitely don't want to finish, but then think like realistically, am I going to want to knit a garter stitch cowl, even if it's just for a few nights, because I could be working on something I really want to work on for this year. I think this is a good lesson in like what past you and what present you and what future you needs and wants from your hobby and needs and wants from your knitting. Is it process? Is it outcome? Especially now with the limited time that I have versus when I first started making all of these, I have much less time on my hands, so I really should just prioritise the ones that I really know that I'm going to wear and the ones that I'm going to use, and then the other ones I should just frog and either donate the yarn or put it back in stash. This was a semi-successful video, I think. It's like a little journey through what I've got, what I'm not that excited about, obviously, because I haven't finished things. This room is absolutely like a bomb's hit it. So maybe I'm just going to go now and close the door and hope my husband doesn't come in here. Happy every day, happy everything. Hope you're well. See you next time. Bye.